sorrow, trial or danger, that world where I go. I was originally a chorister, and when I was going to prep school, I got sort of auditioned for the headquarters choir of the Royal School of Church Music, believe it or not. So yes, I was what they used to call a treble or a boy soprano. I think I was 17. I think I just turned 17. Yeah, by which time I had taken up the guitar, but not from music. Well, I left to become a hotel apprentice with the idea I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Well, I think subconsciously I did, but meanwhile I did take up the guitar and I was in a little band there, and I wasn't very happy in it, but I did it anyway. You know, that is. I went from being a humble hotel trainee to being a civil servant for the BBC, yeah, and I did that for another 2 years. I think it was on a bank holiday Monday, and I had to go back to work on the Tuesday, having driven all night, or been driven. I didn't drive in those days, and so I had absolutely zero sleep whatsoever. I had to go straight to work. I just about had time to shower and put on a jacket and collar and tie and that thing, you know. And yeah, I was not on top of my game, let's put it this way. And I was sitting at my desk, and the department head was berating me for my sort of lack of attention to detail, you see. And I actually nodded off to sleep in front of him, which didn't go down. I went down like a pork chop at a Jewish wedding. You know, he was not best pleased with me, and I made I think a fairly conscious decision. I thought, you really don't want a day job anymore. You've got mortgage, you know what to do with, and you saved up a few quid because you're too busy to spend it anyway. So I gave notice, and that was it. Because I'd saved up a load of money because I was too busy to spend it, so I had to deposit for a flat, so I bought the flat, and then I thought, ooh, I think I could double my money on this, so I did, and then bought a house, and did very well out of that, and around that, I started to tour and do all sorts of stuff, you know. Well, I toured with Val Dunican, I toured Ireland, UK, and Australia, New Zealand, and I learnt a lot. I think he made me a better harmony singer. I used to play they had these things called inn clubs in central London, and this one was called the Scotch of St James, and I used to play there I think every Thursday or something, and people would come and sit in with you. One week it was Bobby Darin, and this time it was Jimi Hendrix, who he didn't have his guitar with him, so he got hold of the bass player's bass and turned it upside down. To be honest with you, I couldn't figure out what the hell he was doing, and he was, well, let's just say maybe a slightly altered state, and so he wasn't very easy to follow, and probably I was a bit slow on the uptake as well, you know. But and he did Hey Joe and Wild Thing. Ralph McTell I played with. Yeah, I toured England with Ralph several times actually, and we had Rick Kemp, who was with the last band playing bass, myself on guitar, and Ralph, of course. Ralph's great. I love playing with Ralph. I went to Australia when I was about 33, 34, something like that, I think. You know, to live, that was after I'd toured there. But, I just loved the place. You know. They had a hell of a send-off for me in Putney at the Half Moon, very famous folk venue, actually. And I used to play there quite frequently. The send-off was in 1980, it was in January of 1980, and I had elected to move to Australia after having done the tour with Val Dunican, and I got the shock of my life. I didn't realise that. Half of Steel Ice Band turned up, and Maddie Pryor, Rick Kemp, and Simon and Dave from the Fairport Convention were there, and we all had a huge jam session. It was massive. possibly because my parents weren't getting any younger, and I thought, well, I really should at least relocate back to Europe. But I didn't want to live in the UK particularly. I always found it too crowded for my tastes. So I thought, I always loved coming here. I toured here, and I thought, well, I live in Ireland and I can commute. I came to Ireland, well, I've been here loads of times as a musician touring, but I moved to Ireland when I left Australia to actually live in Ireland. I came in 1994. And I moved in with John and Annie for a short while. Well, I decided where I was going to be.
He came to Galway for a while, and he stayed. Myself and Annie were living in Galway, and he came and stayed with us for a while there. And while he was looking for a place to rent, and so he stayed there for a while he was getting his stuff sorted out in Australia and selling his house and stuff like that. So. He fell in love with Kinvara straight away. I think it was like, that was it, which I don't blame him, because so many of us have. He wouldn't have been terribly au fait with traditional music here, or the Irish aspect of the music, but he soon did become familiar with it, and he picked up a lot of chops, as he would say on the guitar. From being here and accompanying traditional music and so on, and just becoming immersed in it, really. So he would have learnt a lot. I think he would learn a lot from listening to other people play and so on and so forth. Yeah,
if you're at an Irish session, you don't just take the ball and run with it. And if you do, you'll become very unpopular very quickly, and rightly so. You don't play too much, you don't play too loud. You're there basically for the fiddle players and the box players and whatever singer you're backing, and you don't take the limelight. It's just not on. It's not, why would you? Why would you want to anyway? I mean, I don't know, it wouldn't be my bag, I found it quite easy to fit in, And I learned a lot from likes of John Faulkner and Alec Finn as well. It's like you've got to have manners. As simple as that. Some of the most interesting guitar players. Prime example would be James Burton, for example. James Burton is famous for what he doesn't do, even though he could. I had a shop. Which, when I bought the house in 2000, I kitted it out as a music shop, and I sold mainly specialist guitars. What I suppose served me best. I mean, I had some beautiful guitars in there, and basses, and I even had a pedal steel in there at one point. I sold fiddles, mandolins, and what served me best, I have to say, was I acquired a reasonably good knowledge of Irish traditional music, and so I had a good deal with I can't remember the record company now. Careless Love, actually, I mean, I'm sure we'd still be doing it if we could, but it's for obvious reasons it's not possible. But I think we always saw ourselves as more of a vocal group than anything. We really did a lot of close harmony work, which I love doing. I mean, it's the most satisfying thing in the world, I think, to sing harmonies with two other people and just find your place, and just, for me that's instinctive.
I mean, the musicians around here are just so amazing. Like, you do have to think twice about how much you actually step in, how you would step in or not, But anyway, sooner or later, sure, we made our own band, and so we had a band called the Careless Love, and one of the things I accidentally said at the gig one night is that, well, the reason we call it Careless Love is because we absolutely love what we do, and we couldn't care less, so it's Careless Love.
It's very rare to find someone who's got that sort of backing in blues and R&B, particularly rhythm and blues. So I got in touch, and he had, I think, pretty much, he'd stopped playing the electric guitar. He'd more on playing the acoustic guitar, which is what you have to do around here. If you want to play, you've got to play you've got to play in acoustically. And we started playing these old sort of, Jimmy Reed and those old songs together. And it's very much a kind of a singing group. And I had some songs I wanted to do, and Stuart had some songs, and Helen had some songs that she wanted to do. So we discovered the old rocker within.
It's the audience period, I mean, I'm not alone in this, probably speaking for millions of musicians. We all, at the end of the day, we're performers. We all want to be heard. Nobody's look me in the face and say they don't appreciate a bit of applause. On the positive side, I've written 3 songs this year. So I've spent a lot of time playing the guitar, watched an awful lot of DVDs and Netflix. I haven't let it affect me, to be honest with you. It hasn't done wonders for my social life. At the same time, there's a part of me that's always been a loner, being an only child, I suppose. So I can quite exist in my own space quite happily with my partner Helga. We just get on with stuff. She creates dolls. I start writing songs again. You just make the most of it. I wrote The Night Owl after a gig in the Roisin Dove with, I think it was Brendan Harty actually. There was a band I used to play with called the Higglers. Brendan Harty was the main guy. It's called The Night Owl. The fox has left his lair and is dew upon the ground. Inside that cloak of darkness, there's scarcely any sound, except the crackling of the fire that beats the lonely room. It's the closing of another day. Nighttime has a final say, and the city seems 1,000 miles away. He steps outside the doorway to take in the night sky. As he feels the wonder of it, the thoughts begin to fly to memories of his childhood and the lost loves of his youth. It's the closing of another day. Nighttime has a final say, and the city seems 1,000 miles away. Back, see my father. Going back, no more to roam. Traveling over that river Jordan, only traveling